Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Rise and shine from Houston, an early morning for the D-backs and a quick turnaround after last night's game here. It's another getaway day matinee as the Diamondbacks look to finish with a 4-game split of this home-and-home set with the Astros before it's on to Minnesota. In Houston, they call this a businessman special, so let's take care of business on Fox Sports Arizona. Good morning from Minute Maid Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. D-backs looking for a split here in Houston. Our pitching matchup today, Patrick Corbin for the Diamondbacks and Mike Fiers for the Astros. And Bob, Patrick coming off a very impressive performance in a win over the Cubs over the weekend.
Yeah, his third scoreless appearance of the season. We talked to his manager, Troy Lavello, down in his office earlier. Excuse me. Was really impressed by Patrick's fastball command, the depth of his slider, the break on his slider, and most of all, his attitude out there on the mound. Like to see a repeat of that. Went 6 2/3 of shutout baseball against the Cubs, gave up only 5 hits.
Yeah, 8 strikeouts in that start over the weekend. He had 10 strikeouts in his start just before that. Really looks like he's turned the corner here.
Well, it's all about that slider for Patrick Corbin. Certainly fastball command is important, but when he's got that slider going, it's almost untouchable.
He's up against the veteran right-hander Mike Fiers for the Astros today. Fiers is a guy who's really fallen on hard times. He is winless in his last 4 starts.
Yeah, the numbers are not pretty. 7 home runs allowed in 20 1/3 innings pitched over his last 4 starts. He's given up 22 hits and 13 walks in those 20 innings. This guy's been a workhorse, a 11-game winner for the Astros last year, leads the team in starts and innings pitched this year.
We'll sit back and enjoy some early baseball with us today. Live from Houston, Texas, it's the Diamondbacks and the Astros on Fox Sports Arizona.
Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up today at any Gila River hotels and casinos location. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing, choose Chaz. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By the Donor Network of Arizona. Sign up, save lives. Visit DonateLifeAZ.org. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world.
You get more standard features for less money. Buy Gigablast Internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. Buy Oregano's. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. Buy Phoenix Raceway. See Dale Jr.'s final West Coast race during the Can-Am 500 NASCAR semifinal at Phoenix Raceway November 10th through the 12th. Tickets at phoenixraceway.com. And by State Farm. Here to make life go right. Talk to an agent today or call 1-800-STATE-FARM. Welcome back to Houston, Texas. We're only here for about 36 hours, but D-Backs Nation is with us as we try and steal one before it's off to Minnesota to start a series against the Twins over the weekend. First pitch from Texas is next. Houston, Texas this morning. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Arizona. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Todd Walsh here. The second of a two-game visit to Minute Maid Park in Texas. Diamondbacks will try and even this half of this four-game home and home and take 2 of 4 from the Astros. And here's your lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks this afternoon. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Good to see the proud Papa back in the lineup today. David Peralta will lead it off and play right field. A.J. Pollock out in center. Jake Lamb at third base. Paul Goldschmidt back in the lineup defensively at first base. J.D. Martinez will serve as the DH this afternoon. Daniel Descalso at second base. Ketel Marte at short. Chris Herman in left field. And Jeff Mathis doing the catching for left-hander Patrick Corbin.
David Peralta, sight for sore eyes, certainly. They have missed his energy. Diamondbacks have lost 8 of their last 11 games and suddenly find themselves 1 game behind the Rockies for that first National League wild card spot. D-backs wild card cushion in the 2-hole is now back under 5 games. Milwaukee is within 4, and St. Louis, Bob, is only 5 back.
Well, unfortunately, the Diamondbacks picked a bad time of the year to hit the skids. Everybody else seemingly getting hot at the right time. Diamondbacks will get hot once again. Hopefully, it'll start here today.
Colorado is in action today as well. They host Atlanta later this afternoon. Rookie Jeff Hoffman up against the Braves' Lucas Sims. Astros have taken the field. And your Ram truck starting pitcher for Houston is Mike Fiers, the 32-year-old right-hander. You see the numbers there, 7-7 and a 4.36 ERA. Fiers leads the Astros in innings pitched and strikeouts, but he's won only twice in the last 2 months.
And he's changed his style a little bit out there on the mound. He used to be a straight four-seam fastball up in the zone, complemented by a big 12-6 curveball. He started to mix in some sinkers, some cutters, an occasional changeup, but his bread and butter is still that high four-seam fastball and the big curveball to try to finish off hitters.
Let's get a look at the Astros defensively now. That's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Jake Marisnick out in center field this afternoon. He'll be flanked by Marwin Gonzalez in left, George Springer in right. It'll be J.D. Davis at third base, Alice Bregman at shortstop, Jose Altuve at second base, Yuli Gurriel at first base, Max Stassi doing the catching this afternoon for the right-hander Mike Fiers.
Same crew as we've had all 4 games in this set. Paul Nart is the plate umpire this afternoon. He's got the balls and strikes. Ramon DeJesus at first base, Chris Guccione's at second, and the crew chief, Dana DeMuth, is our third base umpire today. And Bob, before we get going, it's time as always for your Valley Honda dealers key to the game.
I think D-backs fans and Diamondbacks players and Diamondbacks broadcasters would like nothing better than a repeat performance out of Patrick Corbin. We talked about it in the open of the show. As good as we've seen Patrick this year, very aggressive on the mound with both his fastball and his slider. His body language was tremendous. Need that same kind of performance here today against the Astros.
Well, David Peralta is here, hopefully to get things kick-started. His first action since Sunday's game against the Cubs, back from paternity leave after he and his wife Jordan welcomed baby girl Sophia, Princess Sophia, to the family. And we are underway. The first pitch for Mike Fiers. David in there at 303 and 12 homers. He got in about 10:30 last night and said he got his first decent night's sleep all week long, so he is rested and ready to go here. And there was no way he was not going to let Torrey put him in the lineup today.
Now, new dads find that out very quickly, that you only get rest when you're on the road.
Yeah, some exhausted but happy pictures of David and Jordan. Everybody tweeted out over social media this week, but he finally got a good night's sleep last night. 2 balls and 1 strike. Astros have the shift on. 3 defenders on the right-hand side, and it's 2-2. Strike 3. Fastball up at 90 miles an hour, and Fiers rings up Peralta.
Now, one thing Fiers has going for him is kind of an unusual delivery, really an exaggerated, over-the-top four-seam fastball curveball combination from that way up above his head delivery, and it sometimes will take an at-bat or two to get the release point and see where he's letting that ball go.
A.J. Pollock. Now the 3 infielders on the left side for the Astros. A.J. checks in at 270 with 5 home runs. He doubled in Tuesday's game at Chase Field, 1 for 11 in the series. He's walked twice. And rolls that one into left, a base hit for Pollock.
I know a lot of fans back home on the message boards and what have you have been complaining about the lack of a running game for the Diamondbacks in the second half of the season. But when you look at the numbers, you know, AJ hasn't been getting on base as often as we would like, or he would like. Chris Owings is on the disabled list. Nick Ahmed's on the disabled list. Guys that have been a big part of the running game are just not available.
Now all the umpires are going to huddle up in front of home plate here. Something has caught Paul Nart's attention. That's being relayed to Dana DeMuth there, the crew chief.
Not sure exactly what this is about.
Check in with A.J. Hinch over here. And Torey Lovullo as well.
Maybe the replay equipment is down. Not quite sure exactly the reason for that little powwow out in the middle of the infield, but it looks like we're going to continue to play here.
Yeah, this is where baseball could improve its communication and just let folks know here, not just the broadcasters, but the fans in the ballpark, exactly what the trouble was. So if we find out, we'll let you know. Jake Lamb now. Third ball missed. It's 1-0 for Lamb. Jake 266, 25 home runs and 92 runs batted in. 4 hits in the series for Jake, including 3 doubles. He's hit safely in 4 straight games now. Pollock at first. 1 out. Astros have the shift on.
We've talked about that notch in left field and the way teams position their left fielder here at this ballpark.
Pollock breaks for second and Lamb fouls that one out of play. Yeah, they got Marwin Gonzalez over near the line.
It seems kind of funny if you watch the Astros. Obviously they play 81 games a year in this ballpark and they should know all the angles and the percentages, but with a right-handed batter they play their left fielder over near the notch. With a left-handed batter they play the left fielder over in front of the out-of-town scoreboard. Seems exactly the opposite of what you would normally expect, but as I said, they play a lot of games in this ballpark. They've done their statistical research and determined that this is the best place to play your guys defensively.
1-2 on Jake Lamb. AJ breaks for second again, pitches a ball, and Pollock is out. Chris Guccione says Alex Bregman got the tag on that back shoulder. The throw from Max Stassi, making only his 2nd start of the year for the Astros. Let's have a look.
This is one of those plays I feel is nearly impossible for a second base umpire to call correctly. You're trying to watch the base to see when the foot hits. You're trying to watch and see when the tag is applied, if the tag is applied. That's a lot to ask of an umpire with only 2 eyes.
Well, looks like Chris Guccione made a good call there. No challenge from the Diamondbacks, so base is empty. 2 outs and a 2-2 count on Lamb. Astros win here last night was the first time Houston has won consecutive games since July 24th and 25th. A.J. Hinch's ball club has not played real well lately. And despite the fact they have the American League's best record, they're only 7-13 in their last 20 games. Tried to get him to bite on that changeup. Borderline strike, and it's full 3-2. Check swing, excuse me, bouncer, and Lamb is out at first. Ramon DeJesus, the first base umpire. The rookie J.D. Davis over there all by himself. And now we want to have a look at this one. That was awfully close.
Yeah, the ball was not in the back of the glove. I think he beat that one.
I think you're right. Remember, we tell you all the time, the rules say that it's considered a catch when the ball is in the back of the mid, not necessarily in the webbing, but back there in the pocket. But no challenge. We play on. Patrick Corbin coming up from Houston. A Ram truck starter for the Diamondbacks is the lefty Patrick Corbin, coming off one of his best performances as a Diamondback. 6 2/3 scoreless innings in a win over the Cubs on Saturday.
That was really good in that game. Gave up 2 hits to Chris Bryant, 2 to Javier Baez, 1 to Alex Avila. Otherwise, he really shut down that Cubs offense.
George Springer leads the Astros offense. Springer batting .307. He's got 28 home runs and already has 9 leadoff homers this year. That's an Astros record, so you have to be careful here. Springer coming off a 3-hit night last night. 5 hits in the series. He's knocked in a pair of runs. Hard to third, under the glove of Lamb and down the left field line. Springer takes the turn and stops coming around first, and he'll settle for a leadoff single. The lineup for the Astros is presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
George Springer just led it off. He'll be playing right field today for the Astros. Alex Bregman making his way to the plate. He'll be the shortstop. Jose Altuve at second. Yuli Gurriel at first. Marwin Gonzalez out in left field today. Carlos Beltran once again serving as the DH. J.D. Davis to third base. Max Stassi doing the catching. Jake Marisnick out in center field. And right-hander Mike Fiers on the mound for the Astros.
So Patrick Corbin right away into the stretch. And here is Bregman, who was at third base last night. And there's Bob mentioned at shortstop today. And he pulls that one just foul down the line at third. Bregman coming off back-to-back 2-hit games in this series. 275 and 13 homers. Always helpful when Patrick can get a clean first inning and avoid some of those first inning troubles that plagued him earlier this year. Springer, 4 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. This is in the air, right field. David Peralta's out there. 1 out. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks defense today. That's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
David Peralta made his first play out there in right field. He's a great defender as a dad. A.J. Pollock out in center field. Chris Herman will be over in left. Lamb and Marte on the left side of the infield. Descalso and Goldschmidt on the right side. Jeff Mathis doing the catching today for lefty Patrick Corbin.
Because that was his first catch as a dad.
As a dad, yeah.
1000%.
He's perfect as a father.
Jose Altuve now. Altuve batting third today. The major league's leading hitter, already with 5 hits in the series. Just 5'6" tall, but a .364 batting average. And he's got some power, 18 homers.
And Altuve will make you think as a corner infielder. He seemingly always takes a look down at the third baseman right before the pitch is delivered. Takes a look around, checks a base runner at first. He almost always takes a peek down at third base just to see where that third baseman is, to see if it's worth an effort to maybe put down a bunt. Right there, quick little eye shift to the left.
He hits this one deep right field. Peralta at the track in front of the wall, and he's got it for a loud out number 2. Altuve drove it deep the other way. You're right, he is perfect as a dad.
I'm telling you, baby needs new shoes.
Here's Yulieski Gurriel, the Cuban import. 295, 15 home runs, 5 hits in the series. He has doubled and tripled. Springer still at first, 2 outs. And they got him picked off. Patrick Corbin, an 8-pitch first inning. They erased that leadoff single. We are scoreless in Houston, Texas. Fans, don't forget MLB.tv. It's every night on every device. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live and get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so visit MLB.tv for details. D-backs fans here with us today, as Paul Goldschmidt, the Houston native who homered here last night, leads off the second against Mike Fiers. First pitch fastball misses. It's 1-0. Goldie hitting .319. He leads the Diamondbacks in home runs and RBIs. That OPS there is the second best in all of baseball, behind only Joey Votto. Another fastball. That's a strike, and it's 1-1. Goldie 4 hits in the series, a pair of doubles and a homer. His homer here last night, his first ever at Minute Maid Park, where he used to come watch the Astros play as a kid growing up in the Houston suburbs.
I bet he never saw an outfield shift like this. Paul Goldschmidt, we know, can hit the ball to any part of the ballpark, but they play him as a left-handed pull hitter. Center fielder way over in the gap in right center. The left fielder playing straight up in the gap in left center.
Gonzalez out in front of that notch in left field. Well, we saw in last night's ball game Derek Fisher, the rookie left fielder, go deep into that corner in there and make a nice catch on a ball. That Jake Lamb hit disappeared from our view, actually, from where we look at the field behind home plate. Ooh, might have had him on that slider, but Olnark didn't bite. It's 2-2. Well, the way Goldie drives the ball to right center, this surprise you at all?
No, it doesn't really surprise me. Just maybe the exaggerated nature of this opposite field shift. I mean, we see most teams shade their center fielder a few steps over to the gap in right center, and the left fielder plays a few steps over toward the gap in left center. But like I said, this is how you would play a left-handed pull hitter.
Well, if Goldie hits it to left field here in the air, it's either a home run or a double.
Right.
So maybe they're just conceding that.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it last night. Comparable to AT&T Park in San Francisco, but reversed.
He knocks it up the middle, a leadoff single. Second hit for the Diamondbacks against Mike Fiers.
At AT&T, you have the short porch in right field. You have that big gap in right center, Triples alley, so most teams choose to defend Triples alley, and if it's hit down the right field line, it's going to be a double. Same thing here in left field.
Well, he hit it over the train tracks last night as part of that 8th inning when Goldie and J.D. Martinez went back to back, and here is J.D. the DH today. It's his turn. 285 and now 24 home runs. Goldie hit one that looked like it cleared the tracks on the fly down the left field line, and then Martinez came up and drove one right center field into the bullpen out there.
Goldie's went right over the Crawford boxes in left field, up on the train tracks.
It did not go in the Crawford boxes. It sailed high over them. Way out of here. There's a strike with a fastball. It's 1-1. This was J.D. Martinez after Goldie had homered. And suddenly the Diamondbacks, who had trailed all night, were back within 1. But then the Astros answered with 4 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they won the game 9-5. Downtown Houston outside here behind those panes of glass. I really like the way this ballpark plays, Bob, during these day games, because the entire wall behind left field and a lot of center field is just panes of glass, so you get a lot of natural light in here. But it's not like Milwaukee, where they also have a lot of window panes. It creates a weird lighting. This is a good mixture in here of natural and artificial light, it seems like. Davis at third. They get 1, and they turn the double play. Base is empty, 2 down.
Davis keeps his feet moving that time. Throws on the rundown. Tuve at second base makes an easy double play turn for the Astros.
Why do you mention keeps his feet moving there?
Well, a lot of third basemen, and we see Jake Lamb do this from time to time on a similar ball. When you're coming in to field it, you field the ball and just keep moving and throw on the move like we just saw Davis do. If you stop and throw to your target, it takes an extra tick, and sometimes on those double plays you're talking about tenths of a second at first base. Makes up that difference by getting rid of the ball quickly, never really set his feet.
And some guys, it seems like, throw better when they're on the run instead of stopping and thinking about it for a moment or two.
Just a matter of comfort. Certain guys can throw off balance on the move. Other guys feel like they need to have their legs underneath them and step toward their target when they make that throw.
Shift is on for Daniel Descalso, the second baseman today. He has hit safely in every game in this series. 240 and 6 homers. Daniel at first base last night when Goldie was the DH. Had a single in the 7th inning, was 1 for 4. And a double in Monday's opener at Chase Field. Down 0-2. Got him. Fires, gets his second strikeout. We'll head to the bottom of the 2nd inning in Houston. No score. in Houston. Fans, a reminder, Saturday on FS1, it's the Dodgers and the Tigers. Coverage begins at noon on FS1, and hopefully the Tigers will win this game. Gurriel was hitting when Springer was thrown out trying to steal to win the bottom of the first. Patrick Corbin, an 8-pitch first inning. Now it's 1-1 on Gurriel, the first baseman. 295 and 15 homers with 5 hits in the series. Hard to shortstop, right at Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte, we talked about it during the last homestand. When he got called up from Reno, he felt he didn't have the right color shoes, so he went to a sporting goods store and bought some new shoes. He has really picked up the pace since he got here to the major leagues. He wears a different pair of shoes every day.
Yeah, he's got the bright teal ones for the teal days. Yeah. He's got those going, the red ones. Imagine showing up at the golf course wearing those.
Yeah, there was a former infielder for the Houston Astros back in the early 80s named Joe Pittman. Played a couple of years here with the Astros, a little bit of time with the San Diego Padres, but his nickname was Shoes because of his footwear on the field and off the field. I think Ketel Marte could be nicknamed Shoes.
I like it. Marwin Gonzalez, the switch hitter, batting right-handed. Gonzalez in left field. We've seen him at shortstop for most of this series. And he's having a good year, .315 with 20 homers, 3 hits in the series. Singled, walked, and had an RBI last night. Skies this one, foul ground, first base side for Goldie. Good start for Patrick. He's retired 4 in a row, and here comes Carlos Beltran. Beltran, another switch hitter, batting from the right side. Couple of hits last night, including a home run off Taijuan Walker. His 14th of the year. Beltran hitting .247. Beltran now 40 years of age in his 20th major league season. It's a little tapper back to the mound. Corbin's on it. And Patrick is rolling along here. He's retired 5 in a row. We head to the third. No score. Headed to Minnesota. Valley Toyota presents Let's Go Places. A 3-game set at a beautiful Target Field, one of the nicest ballparks in the big leagues. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as that's the second leg of this 9-game, 3-city road trip. 2 in Houston, 3 in Minnesota, and then starting Monday, 4 in New York against the New York Mets. Shoes Marte leads off the third.
I would tend to agree with you on target field unless it's raining like it did last night when they got rained out. The Twins and Indians playing a split doubleheader today.
Good. They'll be tired.
Yeah.
We get to face a big Bart in that series Sunday. Bartolo Colon will pitch for the Twins. We also get to see their outstanding young rookie Jose Barrios will pitch Saturday against Zach Greinke. That'll be a tremendous pitching matchup. Diamondbacks do not know who will start Sunday, however. Anthony Banda was sent back to the minor leagues after David Peralta came off paternity leave today. So we're TBA for Sunday's starter. They might handle it internally. They could start TJ McFarland and try and ham and egg it there. Well, we might see somebody up for the minor leagues. It could be a Matt Cook. Maybe Braden Shipley takes that start. They're still trying to sort that out, but no starter yet for Sunday after Banda was sent back down to the minors. 3-1 on Ketel Marte. And it's a leadoff walk. Second consecutive innings the Diamondbacks have had the leadoff man reach base. And here's another native of the Houston area. It's the Herminator, Chris Herman, in left field. Chris had 168 home runs. He grew up in Tomball, Texas, which is part of the Houston metro area, about a half-hour's drive from right here at Minute Maid Park in downtown. And just a few minutes west of the Woodlands where Paul Goldschmidt grew up. So it's a homecoming for the Herminator as well as Goldie. Chris 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts in his start in left field against the Astros Tuesday afternoon in Phoenix. And he's out there today in front of the Crawford boxes.
I've actually been to Tomball, Texas.
Were you lost?
No, we had to meet the guy that had the boat. We were on our way to Lake Conroe to do some fishing, and we had to stop in Tomball to pick up our boat driver, and that's right near the Woodlands, as you said. So yeah, I've been in their neighborhood.
There you go. What were your impressions? You don't remember?
Very nice. Yeah, it was nice. A lot of good people out there.
I read as that one gets by Gurieski at first base. Marte going to take the turn. It rolls up the right field line, and Ketel Marte's all the way to third. That one got by Yuli Gurriel and rolled almost all to right field.
You know, we saw it at Chase Field, the over-exaggerated shifts that the Astros played defensively in the outfield occasionally cost them an extra base. We saw 5 hustle doubles for the Diamondbacks in one of the games at Chase Field, and this time, because of the overthrow at first base, right fielder George Springer was way over in the gap in right center. Nobody could get to that overthrow.
E1 puts Marte at third. The error on the pitcher fires. No one count on Chris Herman. Chance for the Diamondbacks to take the early lead here. Marte at third and nobody out. Change up from Fires, and it's 1-2. Chris Herman, Torey Lovullo hoping to get him kick-started with this start here this afternoon. Chris is stuck in a 6 for 66 skid right now. And Torey said today doesn't want things to run away from him. He's had some good at-bats during this slump. Lays off another changeup there, and it's 2-2. And day game after a night game, some guys could be dragging, so it's a good matchup for Chris Herman, left-hand batter against Mike Fiers. Breaking ball. Herman doesn't bite. It's full 3-2. Jeff Mathis, the catcher, is the on-deck hitter.
They don't need a base hit to drive that run home. Any kind of medium deep fly ball to the outfield or a ground ball to short, second, or first should score Marte from third base. Third baseman J.D. Davis playing in at the edge of the grass. A ball hit right to him. Probably won't be able to score.
Well, Chris Herman has a knack of doing that to himself over and over and over again. It's kind of amazing.
It might be new territory for Chris, however. Usually it's off that front foot, the front ankle. Not this time.
It's like he was catching a first pitch at Fenway Park. Full count, 3-2. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks open up the Diamondbacks third against Mike Fiers. That's a good example of what Torey Lovullo was talking about. Even though it's a 6 for 66, Chris has had a lot of good at-bats in there. Fiers tried to get him to bite on some changeups, some breaking balls, but he worked the walk. And now there are runners on the corners, nobody out for Mathis.
If this were Joe Madden in the Chicago Cubs, you could book it that we would see a safety squeeze right here from Jeff Mathis. If you get down a perfect bunt, that runner can walk home from third base and advance the guy from first to second. If it's not a perfect bunt, you read the play, see what happens. Joe Madden uses that first and third safety squeeze all the time.
Well, you can't hit 3-run homers doing that. That's the only thing.
That's true.
The indefensible bunt, I think Madden calls it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is dependent on the instincts of the runner at third base to read the bunt and determine whether he can score safely or not. But yeah, you get down a good bunt, it should be a run and a runner at second base with one out in the inning.
1-1 on the D-backs catcher. Fastball up. Fiers already walked 2, having trouble here throwing strikes.
And in the past, Mike Fiers has been dependent on pitchers or hitters swinging at high fastballs. I talked about it earlier. Throws that four-seamer across the top of the zone, very much like Taijuan Walker did earlier this season. That had been his bread and butter pitch for years, getting guys to chase pitches above the top of the zone.
And as we've seen, there's not much velocity here. It's a four-seam, two-seam fastball combo, right about 89 or 90. And from there, curveballs and changeup, occasionally a cut fastball. Tried a two-seamer there at 89, and it's 3-1. Fiers coming off a loss in his previous outing. That was Saturday at Texas. Gave up 6 earned runs. He lasted only 4 innings. Oh, hold on there. Paul Nart says strike 2. Change up. Mathis was headed toward first.
Appeared to be a little bit high.
Oh, man. A little more than borderline right there. So it's full 3-2. That one bounces by Gurriel. It's into right field. Marte is home, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. RBI single for Jeff Mathis.
How about that? Bottom of the order rally starters here. Marte with the walk, Herman with a walk, and now Jeff Mathis with an RBI base hit that sneaks through that right side.
Well, you hit catchers back to back in the order. Good things are going to happen.
Something good is bound to happen. Maybe a double steal here with 2 catchers on base, huh? Let's don't get crazy.
You're mad, I tell you, mad. Then again, it's so crazy, it just might work. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, not liking what he's seeing. First 3 have reached in the D-backs third. Mentioned in the top of the show, it's been a struggle for Mike Fiers. Things have gone this way for him lately. 0-3 in his last 4 starts. As Peralta steps in. Fiers' ERA in those last 4 starts is nearly 8.5. He's got a Herman at second, Mathis at first. No outs and a run in. Peralta chased a high fastball that time. It's 0-1. David struck out looking to lead off the ball game. Change up away, a ball and a strike. Mike Fiers, a 20-pitch inning and only 8 strikes here in the third. Coming up on 50 pitches for the ball game. He's only got 6 outs so far. This is popped up, foul ground, third base side. J.D. Davis, the rookie, is there. And that's the first out. A.J. Pollock, A.J. singled in the first inning and was thrown out trying to steal. So A.J. as of right now is sitting on 499 career hits. 1 more to go for 500.
Up there. Pretty good reaction by Max Stassi back there behind the plate on that pitch.
Well, he was lucky maybe to get a change up there instead of something else.
He's expecting that pitch to break to the outside. You can see he was about to go into a blocking position and then recognized that Fiers was throwing a changeup instead of a breaking pitch. Managed to make the adjustment and keep that one from going to the backstop.
Well, you got a sense in that last shot of that what must be just a helpless feeling back there.
And it's not like you've got time to recalibrate.
Yeah.
Ball's on the way. You've got less than 0.3 of a second to make an adjustment.
Well, he threw it for a strike anyway. It's 0-1. And now it's 0-2. There's the Fiers fastball. It'll pretty much top out at 91. Bounced a big, slow curveball up there.
It's one of those bad misses. It's not even tempting for a hitter. You see him hang on to that curveball and pull it over in that left-handed batter's box. It's immediately eliminated from your thought process to chase that pitch. Bad miss.
One-two is just foul at third base. Mentioned things have not gone well as of late for Fiers. Winless in his last 4 starts. Beaten by the Phillies, the Rays, and the Rangers over that span. And coming into the ball game today, he had given up 20 runs in his last 20 innings.
Seven home runs allowed over those 20 innings in his last 4 starts.
It's funny, he's had trouble with the home run ball off and on all year long. He's given up a lot of homers earlier this year.
Well, when you're a guy that pitches up in the zone a lot with an 89 to 90 mile an hour fastball, if you don't get it up there enough, that's a very hittable pitch.
1-2. Fiers began the year by allowing 18 home runs in his first 9 starts. But then suddenly went 7 consecutive starts without giving up any home runs. But the long balls have resurfaced. 10 homers given up in his last 7 starts. Still 1-2 on A.J. Pollock. 2 on and 1 out. Another one bounced foul at third.
It just seems like A.J. has been searching for the right rhythm, the right tempo in the batter's box ever since coming back off the disabled list. Haven't seen that line drive to the gap in right center as often as he would like, I'm sure. He seems to be rolling over a lot of pitches, hitting a lot of ground balls to the left side of the infield.
Puts that one up in the air toward the left field foul pole, and it's on the wrong side.
That's an example of what this ballpark can do. He got fooled badly by that pitch. Took a one-handed swing. You could tell by the sound of contact he didn't have a good grip on the bat. And still had home run distance.
Just kind of clunked.
Yeah.
Made an odd sound. A.J. began the day today stuck in a 4 for 38 skid over his last 11 games. Fastball, a two-seamer, called strike 3 by Paul Nart. 3rd strikeout for Mike Fiers, and the second looking.
Pitcher's pitch right there at the knees on the corner.
So the first 3 had reached in the inning, 1 run in. 2 on and no outs. He got Peralta to pop up. He strikes out Pollock. Now here's Jake Lamb. Jake rounded to 3rd his first time up. Jake's had a good month at the plate. 286 in August. 12 RBIs in 13 games this month. Max Stassi back there, the catcher, just called up for the first time this year for the minor leagues on Monday. This is only his 2nd start all year for the Astros. So there might be an occasional issue with the pitch selection of the signals. Fastball up and in. It's 2-0.
That can be an overwhelming crash course for a catcher coming up from the minor leagues, catching pitchers maybe you've never seen before. You're not sure what kind of stuff they have, how to read a pitcher, when he's going good, when he's going bad, how to help him out.
He didn't go, says Dana DeMuth, and Lamb's ahead 3-0. Can't be easy. There's so much that I think revolves around familiarity for the catcher.
Oh, yeah. You know, the ability to recognize quickly what a pitcher's doing wrong out there on the mound based on what you've seen from past experiences. And if you don't have those past experiences, you've really got nothing to lean back on. You just have to trust your own instincts as a catcher and try to help him out as best you can.
Well, Fiers has thrown a mess of pitches in this 3rd inning. Now over 60 for the ball game. 3-1 to Lamb, 2 on and 2 outs. Fastball's a strike, and it's full 3-2. Chris Herman's the runner at 2nd. Jeff Mathis at 1st. 2 down. Goldie would be next. Runners should be moving to the pitch. Runners take off, and Jake fouls that one straight back. See that Fiers fastball? It's consistently 91 max. Sometimes the four-seam straight fastball, other times the sinking two-seamer. We'll do it again on 3-2. Runners on the move, and Jake Lamb strikes out. But the Diamondbacks score first. Jeff Mathis, an RBI single, makes it 1-0 D-backs. ...2018 Diamondback season tickets are on sale right now, and you can guarantee your postseason seats when you join the D-backs season ticket holder family. You can design your own plan too. Choose from a full, a half, a series season ticket plan. You can just do weekends, whatever you want, they'll work it out with you. Design your own plan. Become a 2018 Diamondback season ticket holder. All the info you need is online right now. dbacks.com/season tickets. Patrick Corbin has retired 5 in a row. He's now got a 1-0 lead. And here's the rookie third baseman, J.D. Davis. 188 on the year. Backs up Jake Lamb at third. Well, you're happy, Bob, that you get the lead as Mathis comes through with the big RBI single there. But that last half inning, seems like the Diamondbacks have played that inning a lot over the last 5-6 weeks. You've got a run in, 2 on, nobody out, and the top of the order coming up, some of the big boys, and they settle for only the 1 run.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about repeatedly lately. Early in the season, if a rally started with a 7, 8, or 9 hitter at the bottom of the D-backs order, it was usually a crooked number inning. They would bat around, put 4, 5, 6 runs on the board, get 5 or 6 hits in the inning. I mean, you got the pitcher on the ropes with the top of your order coming up, but unfortunately lately just can't seem to get it done.
Peralta popped up. Pollock struck out. Lamb struck out. We're talking about that with Torrey this morning. Usually in that spot, somebody comes up and hits one off the wall for a double, or it's a big 3-run homer, and it's a big giant crooked number. But lately it's 1 run here, 1 run there. Stassi, the catcher, doubled and homered in his first big league game of the year. That was Tuesday in Phoenix. Just came up for the minor leagues on Monday, his first call up with the Astros this year. One more time for Lamb at third. Long throw for Jake. Another ground ball out for Corbin, and Patrick has now retired 7 straight since that leadoff single by Springer. This is the Patrick Corbin we saw against the Cubs over the weekend at Chase Field. He's mowing him down. He was terrific. That slider looked as good as it's looked all year long. And he's looked very good here so far today. Patrick 6 2/3 scoreless against the Cubs Saturday, had 8 strikeouts. Jake Marisnick, the center fielder, trying to bunt his way on. Marisnick 241. He's got a career high 14 homers. Four ground ball outs so far for Corbin. Sometimes this year he's been a ground ball pitcher. Other times he's had the strikeout pitch working. Mostly with that slider. Patrick has 18 strikeouts in his last 2 starts. And that slider was getting a whole bunch of swings and misses against the Cubs. Ties up Marisnick inside with a fastball. 1-2.
Yeah, the thing about Patrick, when he's commanding that slider, he can throw the back foot, a swing and a miss slider to get those punch outs. But also when he commands it, he can throw it to the back door to steal a strike to start the at bat against a right-handed hitter. And he was able to do that against the Cubs very effectively.
And when you combine that with good fastball command, which he's had lately, then you've got a whole different ball game. He's been very effective.
Well, we saw a couple of starts where Patrick tried to mix in more straight changeups. I don't think he had the confidence in his slider that he's had over the last couple of starts, so he went to another secondary pitch, the straight changeup.
Well, Marisnick got a fastball and knocked it by Ketel Marte. A 2-out single, the second hit for the Astros. And that'll bring up the leadoff man, George Springer. Springer single to lead off the ball game. Broken bat, roller to shortstop. Marte's got to hurry. Goldie can't scoop it, and Marisnick heads for third. Mathis backing up, and Springer's in at second base. Well, we've seen Ketel Marte try to force some throws early this year. That one was just a matter of getting the speedy Springer at first.
Throwing on the move. Quick exchange from the glove into the throwing hand. Might not have had seams that time when he threw the ball across the diamond. That's a short hop that Goldie normally makes the play on over there at first base. You can see Marte really upset with himself.
Well, Patrick might have been out of the inning. Instead, it's second and third, and here's Alex Bregman.
Patrick had to pitch around a couple errors in that start against the Cubs, including one in the first inning by Brandon Drury at second base. He managed to strand both runners in that first inning against the Cubs.
Bregman flied out to right field his first time up today. Yanked foul at third. Saw a key error in the ball game lead off the home half of the fourth inning last night when Brandon Drury booted an easy grounder off the bat of Derek Fisher. Fisher wound up scoring a run in that inning as the Astros got 2 in the fourth. They took a 5-1 lead at that point. Allnard didn't like that fastball. 1-1. Not sure where that missed. Bounced a slider. Everybody stays put. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Good stop by Jeff Mathis. That's become a little bit of an issue recently for D-backs catchers. The wild pitches. That time blocked it, looked like with his throwing arm. Just managed to keep that ball close enough to home plate to hold that runner at third base. And some of it is just tough luck. I mean, we saw Chris Iannetta last night in perfect blocking position a couple times, and the ball just hit a bad spot on his body and got far enough away for Astros runners to advance.
In on the hands, Marte one more time. Another low throw. Goldie's got that one, and Corbin gets the job done. He strands 2. It stays 1-0 D-backs.
You're right. It cleared the tracks. And you ask, how do I know that? Because, well, that's the ball. And it was retrieved by our good friend, Bobby Dynamite.
Oh, your boy.
Yep.
He drives the train up there, right?
17 years he's been riding the rails up there. Not a lot of track, but he's up there.
What nationality is the last name Dynamite?
I'm not sure, but there he is.
Now, if you were going to describe that guy, I'm not sure Dynamite really fits.
He's a loyal guy. And there's a ground out to short, it would appear. And apparently he and Paul attended the same university. What was that, Texas State?
That is correct, sir.
So he went out and got the ball for us and said, you know what, Paul's family needs it.
Nice.
And retrieved it, and we had it on the pregame show. You saw it on the field, and offered it to Paul's family.
He looks poised and ready to spring into action.
Yep. Now I needed clearance beyond you know, the time that we were here at the ballpark to get back up onto the track and up onto the train. But I vowed I'll never go back up there again, because the last time I was there, an Astro hit a home run while we were on the air, and that moment, well, it lives forever. Thankfully, I don't believe we have the footage anymore, and that's a good thing.
But then you got to ride the train, right?
I did. It was a Chris Snyder home run.
Who could forget?
Yeah.
J.D. Martinez, the DH. And that train is full of oranges, right? That's allegedly powered by orange juice.
Yeah,
that train?
orange juice. Yep.
Well, now Bobby Dynamite had some issues with my former radio partner with the Cubs, the late Ron Sando. He called that a train full of pumpkins.
That's what I thought it was till I got up there.
They seem to be exceptionally large oranges. 1-1. These guys, J.D. Martinez and Mike Fiers, actually college teammates together at Nova Southeastern University in Florida. Graduated and I should say drafted the same year, 2009. They played together on the same college team. And Martinez has hit into a double play and struck out so far. 5 in a row set down by Fiers. How did you get a hold of Bobby Dynamite to get the ball and get the whole story.
To quote you, Steve, on the Twitter.
That's what it's there for. He's got a very active Twitter account.
Yes, he
Bobby
does.
Dynamite.
You know you've arrived when Bobby Dynamite follows you on Twitter, and
that's actually why I quit Twitter.
Yeah, I understand. I will say, if you have ever wondered if team president Derek Hall is watching the telecast, just go up there and be on the air while an Astro hits the home run, and you'll find out right away that he's watching.
You're still wearing that one, huh?
It's like
Derek watches everything, man. He didn't miss a pitch.
It was quite a thrill.
Game to Descalso. He drives one deep right center field. And it's off the base of the wall.
Go.
It's rolling back toward left center. Descalso being waved home. And he will score standing up. Daniel Descalso, an inside the park home run. That's the third inside the parker for the Diamondbacks this year.
Well, I'm going to wait on the official score. That could be a triple and an error on the center fielder Jake Marisnick, because he picked the ball up and then dropped it.
Oh no.
We'll see how they score this one. Banged into the deepest part of the ballpark here. Daniel hustling right out of the box. Both outfielders converge on the spot, and it hits one of those angles. And right there, Marisnick picked it up and dropped it. So we'll have to wait and see what the score says.
They say home run.
All right, I like it.
And, you know, to be honest, he was so far back there, and Descalso was already almost on third by the time he picked the ball up. It really wouldn't have mattered. And so it is an inside the park home run for Daniel Descalso, and a jumbo jack for the Diamondbacks. Free jumbo jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. 7th homer this year.
Oh boy, Daniel.
2-0 D-backs. Here's the guy who hit the first inside the park home run, Ketel Marte, and he sends this one out to right field. It checks up on the grass. Marte flying into third, and he is in there with a triple. An inside the park homer followed by a triple, back-to-back at bats. First triple this year for Ketel Marte.
Once again, the overshift of the defensive outfield lends itself to an extra base or two. This time 2 extra bases for Ketel Marte, who really shifted into another gear there as he got to second base. Man, can he run.
A walk and a triple for Marte. He's now reached base safely in 17 straight games. Chris Herman walked his first time. Made on a fastball there, and it's 0-2.
I love those inside the park homers. You can anticipate them. You know, you see the ball hit that angle and bounce away from the outfielders. Take a peek at the outfielders, then you take a peek at the base runner. Daniel made it all the way around.
But they strand Marte at third. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Descalso's inside the park home run, and let's put a clock on him just for fun. And take a look. It's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing Cool Play of the Game.
Now, Daniel Descalso has what I would consider to be average speed on the bases, but he's a very good base runner. Really cuts the bags well. Makes that turn as quickly as possible. Gets on line to the next base, and he scores without a play on that inside the park.
Well, what's the deal with all these inside the park home runs?
I don't know, but I really like it.
They're a lot of fun. Started with Ketel Marte, and then we saw David Peralta get one, and now Daniel Descalso. 0-1 on Jose Altuve. He flying out to right his first time up. Patrick Corbin now with a 2-0 lead. Patrick so far has given up only 2 hits, both singles. Patrick with 5 ground ball outs so far. Altuve down 1-2. It'll be interesting to see if Jose Altuve can maintain this level of hitting over the rest of the year. He checked in today at .364. Last player to finish with a batting average this high was Minnesota's Joe Mauer. That was back in '09. When Mauer hit .365, he was AL MVP. So it's been close to a decade since someone was up in this stratosphere.
Now, one advantage Altuve has over Joe Mauer is speed. He'll get his share of infield hits.
Wait a minute, Joe Mauer was a catcher at that time.
He had great catcher speed.
So he was slow. 1-2. Got him. Patrick Corbin gets his first strikeout today. There's the Corbin slider.
One thing Altuve has working against him is the fact he's such a free swinger. Pitcher has good command out there on the mound, can keep the ball away for the most part, bounce some breaking balls, bounce some off-speed pitches, elevate fastballs. You can get him to chase out of the zone.
Yuli Gurriel grounded out his first at bat today. First pitch swinging, popped it up. They got this thing surrounded. Goldie's got it quickly, 2 down. Gurriel 0 for 2. Marwin Gonzalez, the left fielder today, popped out his first time up. A.J. Hinch against the left-hander Corbin. Going with Alex Bregman at shortstop, and he moves Gonzalez out to left. They're still without Carlos Correa, who suffered a torn ligament in his left thumb last month. He's on the DL right now. And even without Correa in there for the better part of the last month, Houston still leads the major leagues in, you name it, runs, hits, home runs. They're tops in batting average. They're #1 in OPS, which is on base percentage plus slugging percentage. And as we saw last night, even without Correa, they can score a whole bunch of runs in a hurry. 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, that 4-run 8th inning after the D-backs had pulled back within 1.
Yeah, Torey Lovullo had a lot of good things to say about the Astros offense and the way they do the things that Diamondbacks are trying to do more consistently. Build those innings. Doesn't always take a home run or a gapper to keep the inning going, to set the table for the next guy behind you in the batting order. And Torey was very complimentary of the Astros and the way they went about building innings last night.
Boy, Patrick keeps coming into these righties with fastballs. He's always been good at that. But now when that slider has been as sharp as it's been lately. That's a tough combination for a right-hand batter, even against a lefty. And Gonzalez has been jammed a few times. He's got 3 hits in this series. He singled, walked, and drove in a run last night. And a bases loaded walk in that 2-run Houston third. We talked about Taijuan Walker if you watched the game with us last night, and Taijuan's velocity seemed down. It was 91-ish when we're used to 94, 95. Well, there's a conspiracy theory going around here, voiced by a couple of people this morning, that maybe there's some monkey business going on with the radar guns in this ballpark.
It's been known to happen in the past at ballparks around the majors.
That's a loud foul. I mean, Charlie Morton was throwing 96-mile-an-hour 2-seamers, and Taijuan, who usually is 94, 95, was down in the very low 90s. Something seems amiss.
Yeah, there used to be some games back in the day when RJ would take the mound and go out there, and the first fastball he'd throw in the game would show up at 90, and we'd all look at each other and immediately know that they had their gun dialed way back.
And Corbin gets another strikeout with a slider. Works a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. A shutdown inning. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Brought to you by Geico. This is one of my favorites. Richie Ashburn, playing for the Philadelphia Phillies, hit a foul ball that hit a lady by the name of Alice Roth and
it that
broke
time of
her
year
nose.
again?
Yeah, the ball hit her and broke her nose. There was a slight delay on the field while she was being attended to, eventually put on a stretcher, and while they were carrying her out, he hit another foul ball that hit her on the stretcher. Now, Alice Roth, that coincidentally was the wife of Earl Roth, who was the sports editor for the Philadelphia newspaper at the time. I love that one.
I feel like I'm in some kind of weird time warp. That one comes up every year.
I can't pass it up.
Well,
it's just too good, too good. I mean, Richie Ashburn was known for, getting into a 2-strike count and fouling off several pitches to stay alive in the at-bat. Well, Alice Roth can attest to that.
It has a certain Bill Murray Groundhog Day feel to it. It was Mathis who had an RBI single in the third.
Most baseball seasons do.
Yeah. Another day in the big leagues. Now, did we ever find out, did the guy, the husband, write some kind of scathing article about Richie Ashburn after that?
I don't know. That would make it even better if
Wouldn't
it was
it?
done intentionally.
Dig into the archives.
Talk about bat control. Section 129, row 3, seat 4. Take her out.
Hey now. Mike Fiers threw 4+ innings already at 80 pitches. 50 for strikes. Yeah, that one seems to have easily made your top 5 list of this day in history.
Right up there. Right up there.
That's the Fire's fastball. He's got 7 strikeouts now, 1 down to the 5th.
I got an oddity for you, partner.
Oh yeah, I love oddities.
Diamondbacks have 3 inside the park homers this year. Marte, Peralta, and now Daniel Descalso.
All right, sir.
All 3 of those inside the park home runs have come with Patrick Corbin on the mound.
Get out of here, really?
That's what I said. Get out of here.
Now that is a coincidence and not irony, but that's a real oddity.
Yeah.
Shift is on for Peralta for 2. The new dad is back with the D-backs. Skies this one to right field for Springer. 2 outs. Minute Maid Park here in downtown Houston. Steve Berthew, Bob Brentley, and Todd Walsh with you. D-backs have a 2-0 lead. Jeff Matheson RBI single in the 3rd, and Daniel Descalso an inside the park home run in the 4th. Here's AJ, who's 1 for 2.
Pretty nice crowd here at the ballpark today for a day game, early afternoon start.
Yeah, they like to call it a businessman special here in Houston. Some of these oil fat cats are here.
And a lot of students taking advantage of the last day they're going to have to come to the ballpark, because I think school starts here tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the private schools have already started.
AJ drives this one left center. Springer's on the run, and he tracks it down. Or Marisnik, I should say. Jake Marisnik makes a nice running catch, and that's the end of the top of the 5th. But the D-backs lead the Astros 2-0. Fans, if you can't watch the game on TV, don't worry. Stream them live on your mobile device. All the games with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app and take Fox Sports Arizona and the Diamondbacks with you wherever you go. Patrick Corbin so far, 4 scoreless innings. He's given up only 2 hits, both singles. And Carlos Beltran leads off the Houston 5th. Beltran tapped back to the mound his first time up. Patrick has retired the last 4 he's faced after the Ketel Marte throwing error. Did a nice job of getting out of that jam. Astros with 2 outs after Corbin should have been out of the inning. And 2nd and 3rd, he got Bregman to ground out and worked a 1-2-3 4th. 1-2 on Beltran. Yes, he went, Ramon DeJesus. 3 strikeouts for Corbin.
It looks to be the same slider he had in that last start against the Cubs. He's thrown some nice ones to the back door to right-handers for called strikes. A lot of good back foot sliders already in this game.
J.D. Davis, the third baseman, rounded out in his first at bat to lead off the third. Davis called up to the majors for the first time August 5th. He was having a good year in the minor leagues between AA Corpus Christi and AAA Fresno. Just over 100 minor league games this year. Hit .282 with 26 home runs. Off the glove of Lamb at third. Marte throws it into the seats. It caromed off Jake Lamb's glove right to Ketel Marte, who was there to back up, but he's got his second throwing error of the ball game. And that one zoomed into the stands behind the Astros dugout.
This could possibly be a double error. One on Jake Lamb for missing the ground ball. One on Ketel Marte for airmailing it over everybody.
Yeah, they put 2 errors up there. Now 3 in the ball game for the Diamondbacks, and the second for Marte. So that's E5 puts Davis at first, and E6 puts him at second. The catcher Max Stassi grounded out his first at bat. Astros, as we've mentioned, still without both Brian McCann and Evan Gattis. They're on the DL right now. They're 2 primary catchers. So it's a catching combo of Juan Centeno and Max Stassi. Stassi played his first big league game of the year Tuesday in Phoenix and doubled and homered. Davis at second, 1 out. Bounce to third. Lamb charges. Short hop. Throws across. Davis heads for third. And they got him! Davis trying to make a heads-up base running play. Instead makes the final out of the inning at third base. A.J. Hinch wants to have a look.
Yeah, Jake never checked the runner at second base. Intent on getting that out at first. Trick slide may have actually hurt Davis that time. If he goes straight into the bag, he probably beats the tag, but tried that swim move to the outside of third base, and it looked like they were able to get the tag on him.
Dana DeMuth, the umpire right there, the crew chief. And they will challenge the out call at third.
The tail end of the play here. The slide to the far outside. I don't know. Very close.
Boy, Dana DeMuth was perfectly positioned to make the call. Yeah, I kind of like this from the Astros standpoint in that we've seen guys all year long. Sometimes they hold on to those challenges maybe a little too late in the game, a little too often.
The replay they just showed here on the big board at the ballpark, it appeared that Davis did get his hand on the bag just ahead of the tag of Ketel Marte, but still very close.
Down there with third base coach Gary Pettis.
That's one disadvantage of playing against an American League team, that you really don't know a lot about each individual guy and his habits on the bases. If you knew that J.D. Davis is an aggressive base runner, you could field that ground ball, pump fake to first, and then just turn around and tag him.
Well, the call stands on the field. That's the end of the 5th inning. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Texas, D-backs lead the Astros 2-0. It's a getaway day matinee here. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. We fly to Minnesota after the ball game. Open up a 3-game set at Target Field against the Twins tomorrow. Zach Godley and Irvin Santana tomorrow. Zach Greinke. There's been a change actually for Minnesota. Jose Barrios will start that game Saturday. And then Sunday it's TBA versus Bartolo Colon. Jake Lamb drives one deep right center field. And that ball is out of here. It's in the bullpen for Jake Lamb, his 26th. And it's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
There's a little instant offense. Oh man, 89 middle of the plate. That's what's supposed to happen to those pitches.
Goldie first pitch swinging. Davis at third in front of Bregman. That's the first out here in the 6th. Big hug from Taijuan Walker. Jake Lamb. Jumbo Jack. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. So Jake now with 5 hits in this series, including 3 doubles and a home run. Here's J.D. Martinez, the former Astro, the DH today. He has hit into a double play and struck out. J.D. having spent several seasons with the Tigers in the American League. DH is nothing new for him. Didn't do it a whole lot in Detroit, but he's had just about 150 career plate appearances as a designated hitter, so this is familiar ground for him.
Didn't DH as much with the Tigers as you might expect because they had a whole roster full of DHs.
And still do. He's a career 250 hitter as a DH, 6 homers. And as we mentioned earlier, a college teammate of the pitcher Mike Fiers. They were drafted out of Nova Southeastern University in Florida. The same year, 2009, Fiers was a 22nd round pick by Milwaukee. And J.D. Martinez, a 20th round pick by these Astros. So now he's come full circle, J.D. Martinez. He will always be, for the Astros, the one that got away.
It's hard to fault the Astros. There really weren't a lot of signs that J.D. Martinez was going to develop into the kind of hitter that he has. when he was playing here in Houston.
Dunks one into right field, a 1-out single. Yeah, he was pretty quiet over his first several seasons with the Astros. Really didn't do much. He hit .251 parts of 3 years. Not a whole lot of power. They let him go near the end of spring training 3 years ago. Tigers picked him up, and he's been a power hitting corner outfielder ever since. Here's A.J. Hinch going to make the move here. A little explanation, it seemed, for Mike Fiers, whose day will end. We're in the 6th inning in Houston. D-backs lead the Astros 3-0.
Hold a 3-0 lead. The Astros just made a pitching change. Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
A run in on the Jake Lamb homer. J.D. Martinez at first with 1 out, and the new pitcher for the Astros, the veteran lefty Francisco Liriano. We saw him in the game Tuesday afternoon at Chase Field. Came on to pitch the 9th inning and walked Daniel Descalso in that inning. One of 2 walks in the inning for Liriano, and Descalso is the hitter. He had an inside the park home run his last time up, his 7th home run this year. Caromed off the wall in deep right center field and rolled back toward left center. And he scored standing up. Nice play here by Bregman, and they turn 2. Alex Bregman, the double play that ends the inning. But Jake Lamb tacks on the Diamondbacks' 3rd run today. A solo shot is 26th. 3-0 D-backs.
inning. And a quick update, guys. The Diamondbacks coaches and front office no doubt will be multitasking tonight as they watch Visalia as they take on Modesto, and all-star Robbie Ray will be making a rehab start. They're looking for 5 innings or 75 pitches, and then we'll reevaluate. And by the way, thanks to my friend Valentin here, it is Mustache Appreciation Night at the ballpark, I think Recreation Park in Visalia. Real or imagined?
Patrick Corbin trying to make a play on the Marisnick bunt, couldn't quite pick it up, and he's aboard to lead off the 6th. That's quite a mustache.
How long have you had this thing, Valentin? How long have you had the mustache?
All my life.
You were born ready to roll. And yesterday was your 78th birthday?
Yes, sir.
A retired teacher in Texas, so we say
Here in Houston.
thank you. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you.
30 years I've worked for HISD.
There you go. Well, it's a Mustache Appreciation Night, and if you can make it to Visalia, I think you'll be a big hit.
Right. Okay.
Good luck. I know a guy. We'll get you in, all right?
Okay.
See you
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Well, he can't wait to go, it sounds like. George Springer.
Yeah, that gentleman has been coming here to Astros games as long as I can remember.
At the Dome, too?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But here at the new ballpark, he's always out there by the gas pump in deep left center field with all of his buddies in the cowboy hats.
Yeah, there's places where you can just kind of stand and chill, lean against the railing. There's a walkway that goes behind the Crawford boxes. You can see folks walking to the right there, all the way towards center. And once you get out there, there's an area to stand out by that gas pump. And well, Todd's left.
You have to have a cowboy hat to stand in that section.
Yeah, he was kicked out. 1-1 on Springer. Patrick has given up only 3 hits, all singles. He's not walked a batter. He's got 3 strikeouts. Fastball's been sharp. Sliders look good. Springer lays off that one. It's 2-2.
I'll tell you another thing that's been very good for Patrick today that hasn't always been the case, his ability to pitch around errors.
Yeah.
He'd given up 31 unearned runs in the last 2 seasons, including 11 this year. But so far 3 errors defensively for the Diamondbacks. Patrick's been able to pitch around them all.
Yeah, that one that Ketel Marte, the play that he made a bad throw on in that 3rd inning was especially big because the Astros had 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs, and he got Bregman to ground out to keep Houston scoreless. Full count, 3-2. Bregman, he's the on-deck hitter. 3rd time through the order now for Patrick Corbin. There is Orbit. That is the Astros mascot. It was really giving Ketel Marte a hard time during stretching. It got a little contentious. Ball 4. First walk today for Corbin. No, Ketel was just joking around with Orbit. They were having a good time down there. But Patrick's in his first real jam now. 1st and 2nd, no outs. And Bregman 0 for 2 is the hitter.
A.J. Hinch does not use his position players to sacrifice bunt very often. Jake Marisnick has a couple. Marwin Gonzalez has a couple. I would assume that in both those guys.
This is hit deep left field. What a play! How about Chris Herman? Going into that notch in the corner, the Herminator leaps up against the wall and makes a tremendous catch. In the shadows and in the dark, in those tiny little corners of your mind, there he is.
Well, that is a great play for a guy that plays left field all the time. This ballpark has a lot of things to deal with here, and Chris Herman maneuvered around that corner, back to the wall, made a leaping catch, chased both runners back to their bases.
Well, Torrey is out here getting an explanation from Paul Nart behind home plate.
It looked like the runner at second base, Marisnik, had gone about a quarter of the way to third base. The runner at first, Springer, was all the way down to second, maybe around second base, possibly didn't retouch on the way back to first. That could be what Torrey's questioning right here. I think Springer thought the ball was going to get down out there in left field, and he was going to be right on the heels of Marisnik coming around third base if that ball had dropped. But when Chris Herman made the catch, everybody had to reverse engines. I'm not so sure Springer retouched second base. And apparently none of the umpires had a look at it, or at least they didn't agree that Springer had gone too far around the bag and didn't retouch.
Well, just a few feet to the left, and that's a 3-run home run for Alex Bregman. Instead, it's a very unusual out number one here in the 6th inning. What a catch by Chris Herman. But here comes the major league's leading hitter. It's Jose Altuve, who has flat out struck out 0 for 2. Well, that little corner in there in left center has been a busy place in these 2 games so far. Wild swing and a miss there by Jose Altuve. Chris Herman with one of the best defensive plays we've seen from the Diamondbacks in a while out there. Keeps runners at first and second base, 1 out, 0-1 on Jose Altuve, who's already got 5 hits in the series. Marisnik is the runner at second and Springer at first. Another wild swing. This one rolls away, however, from Mathis, and the runners move up.
You know, a lot of those Patrick Corbin sliders are going to end up in the dirt. That one looked like it hit in somebody's toe hold in that right-handed batter's box. Really took a squirrely bounce away from Jeff Mathis that time.
0-2 now. Yes, he went on the slider. Ramon DeJesus rings up Jose Altuve, who was insisting that he checked. 4th strikeout for Corbin, 2 down in the 6th. That's a big call right there.
Well, that barrel got out there a lot farther than Altuve indicated when he was replicating his check swing to Ramon DeJesus down at first base. It looked like he went close enough.
That head looked like it got out in front, if that's what you're looking at. 2 on and 2 out. Yuli Gurriel 0 for 2. This would be a tremendous boost for Patrick's seemingly increasing confidence if he can get out of this with a 0. Marisnick with a little squib shot for an infield single. He walks Springer. Herman made the tremendous catch on Bregman. Altuve strikes out. Now here's Yuli Gurriel. 2-0. Gurriel, a hot hitter lately, 5 hits in the series. He's hitting nearly .360 in his last 15 games. Mathis wants a word with Corbin. You do have first base open. The on-deck hitter is the switch-hitting Marwin Gonzalez, who's a much better hitter from the left-hand side than he is from the right. And he would be batting right-handed against Corbin. Two balls and no strikes.
Man, if you can throw that pitch 2-0 to a dangerous right-handed hitter, you're going to have some success. I'm sure Gurriel just sitting on a fastball right here looking for something he can drive into the gaps or out of the ballpark, and Patrick dropped a backdoor slider right on the corner.
And then buries a fastball in there. It's 2-2, but Gurriel didn't like the call from Paul Nard.
It's been a little bit of a guessing game. What is and is not a strike back there behind the plate today.
2 on, 2 outs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got him! Patrick Corbin, 2 big strikeouts. And he strands 2. Chris Herman, a tremendous catch in the corner in that notch up against the wall in left center. And then Corbin got Altuve and he got Yulieski Gurriel. We're through 6 in Houston. It's 3-0 D-backs. D-backs lead the Astros 3-0. Fans, the D-backs are showing appreciation to educators all across Arizona with teacher appreciation packs on Saturday, August 26th against the Giants. You can buy a special event ticket pack, get a suite level ticket to the game, plus a D-backs cooler bag filled with all kinds of back-to-school items, including a USB drive, a pad folio, t-shirt, water bottle, a whole lot more. So visit dbacks.com/teacher and join us for Teacher Appreciation Saturday, August 26th at Chase Field. Francisco Liriano back out there for the Astros. Ketel Marte, who has walked, tripled, and scored a run today, leads off the 7th. How about Patrick Corbin?
Wow.
That was impressive.
Back against the wall, made the biggest pitches of the day to two of the most dangerous hitters in this Astros lineup.
Struck out the 3 and 4 hitters for Houston. Patrick, through 6 innings, 6 scoreless innings, has given up only 3 hits, all singles. Marte skips that one by Jose Altuve. A hot shot into center. A leadoff single for Ketel Marte, who's on board for the 3rd time today. That seemed to pick up speed as it came at Jose Altuve.
Yeah, I think the velocity of that ball off of the Marte swing kind of fooled Altuve out there at second base. Shot by him into center field for a leadoff knock. Once again, here at the bottom of the order, starting the rally.
Yeah, it's been productive. Marte, a walk, a triple, and a single. Herman walked in the 3rd. And Mathis, the 9-hole hitter, had an RBI single in that 3rd inning. So keep an eye on Marte over there. Chris Herman, a 121 hitter versus left-hand pitching this year, 4 for 33. He has walked and struck out today, 0 for 1. First 2 at bats came against the right-hander Mike Fiers. Don't forget the oven mitt.
I want to burn your hand. Getting the muffins out of the oven.
That's just a euphemism for stealing bases. That's all. Fastball's in there, and Herman's down 0-2. Astros bullpen is busy. This is in the air, shallow center. Merznick coming in. 1 out in the 7th. Mike Fiers, the Astros starter today, went 5 1/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 were earned. 7 hits with 7 strikeouts. And gave up 2 home runs, 1 an inside the park home run by Daniel Descalso. And a long home run to deep right center off the bat of Jake Lamb to lead off the 6th. Here's Mathis, an RBI single back in the 3rd. Jeff's going to need a new bat. D-backs 12 over 500 right now, 1 game behind Colorado for that first National League wild card spot. Right now the Rockies are hosting Atlanta. They're playing a day game at Coors Field, tied up 2-2 in the 3rd inning in that game. Milwaukee is only 4 games behind Arizona. Brewers are off today. They start a long West Coast road trip. Tomorrow they'll play 3 at the Rockies, 3 at the Giants, and 3 at the Dodgers. St. Louis is only 5 back there at Pittsburgh later today. This is rolled to shortstop. Davis in front of Bregman. And they're able to turn the double play. We're headed to the home half of the 7th. It's a 3-0 D-backs lead. Off 6 2/3 scoreless against the Cubs Saturday. 8 strikeouts. Our Cox high-speed highlights. Bobby's been just as good here today.
Well, he followed our key to the game today, which rarely comes to fruition. But today we asked for a repeat performance from Patrick Corbin, and so far he's done exactly that.
Patrick has walked 1. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's given up only 3 hits. All singles. 6 scoreless innings. Back out there to start the 7th. And Marwin Gonzalez, the left fielder for the Astros, jumps on the first pitch and pops it up. Jake Lamb and Mathis. Lamb's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out. New left fielder for the Diamondbacks as Chris Herman comes out of the ball game, replaced by Gregor Blanco. But Herman has made the defensive play of the series so far, and they yank him out of there for a defensive change.
What? Yeah, we kind of knew this was coming when Chris Herman gets a start in the outfield, and you've got an accomplished defender like Gregor Blanco on the bench, and you have a lead in the ball game. Yeah, you have to pull the plug on Chris Herman.
Carlos Beltran 0 for 2. There's the calligraphy of Diamondbacks coach Jerry Narron.
Notice that the replacements aren't quite as pretty as the starters.
I was going to say, it's like, well, the calligraphy takes so much time.
Yeah, this is on the fly.
Fancy. Oh, late time granted there. That was apparently an issue in the Cardinals-Red Sox game at Fenway Park last night when late time was granted in that exact situation. And St. Louis catcher Yadier Molina went bonkers. And then the Red Sox came back and won the game on a walk-off. Cardinals are at Pittsburgh later tonight.
Cincinnati at Wrigley Field this afternoon. It's 9-6 in the 5th inning. Guess which way the wind's blowing?
In. No.
No is right.
Goldie in foul ground.
Yeah, Happ with his 16th, Bryant with his 23rd, Avila with his 14th, and Joey Votto with number 32. And we're only through 5 innings of the ball game.
Our crack producer Brad the Big Dog Weimer says that game's now 9-9.
Jeez.
One of those crazy games at Wrigley. We're here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. And Patrick Corbin trying to get his 21 outs, make it 21 scoreless outs, and the only guy standing in his way is J.D. Davis, the rookie third baseman.
Baez and Kyle Schwarber have also homered, making it 9-9.
It's 2-2 in Colorado. Braves and Rockies are all tied up. Tyler Flowers and Ender Inciarte have homers for Atlanta. 0-2. Patrick has had 3 errors committed behind him. He's picked up his defenders every time. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He's retired the last 5 he's faced. 1-2 on J.D. Davis. Just did get a piece of that one. D-backs will have the top of the order due up in the 8th inning. Peralta, Pollock, Lamb. Trying to even this 4-game home and home set with the Astros at 2 games apiece. Get out of this whole situation against the American League's best team with a 4-game split. That's not bad. And it's off to Minnesota and New York. Swing and a miss. He got him. Patrick Corbin, 6 strikeouts and 7 scoreless innings. It's 3-0 D-backs. And there it goes. The home run for Ender is 9th of the year. And the Braves and Rockies right now tied at 2 at Coors Field. T-Mobile gives us our unlimited baseball break. D-backs are 1 game behind Colorado for that first wild card spot. Milwaukee, which is off today, 4 back. Cardinals are 5 back. St. Louis at Pittsburgh. Later tonight, that's Adam Wainwright and Jameson Tyler. Peralta leads off the 8th inning against Francisco Liriano. David, the new daddy, is back with his ball club and 0 for 3 so far. David got in about 10:30 last night off paternity leave and said in the hotel last night he finally got a good night's sleep for the first time all week. A brand new dad. He and his wife Jordan have a new baby girl, and he's got a base hit for Princess Sophia. Leadoff single in the 8th inning.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
A.J. Hinch pulls Liriano from the game. A.J. Pollock coming up. We'll take a break from Houston. Right-hander Francis Martez. We saw him come on in relief in Tuesday's game at Chase Field. Martez struck out all 4 batters he faced in that ball game and wound up as the winning pitcher, his 5th win of the year. A.J. Pollock is the hitter. David Peralta at first after a leadoff single here in the 8th inning. A.J. singled his first time up. He's 1 for 3. One more hit away from 500 for his career. D-backs have 2 home runs in the ball game. Daniel Descalso, an inside the park home run in the 4th inning. The D-backs' 3rd inside the parker this year. And Jake Lamb went the conventional route. He hit it into the bullpen at right center in the 6th. 26th of the year for Lamb. This is tapped to 3rd, but foul. Breaking balls a strike, and it's 1-2. Diamondbacks have seen the strikeouts pile up lately. They struck out 13 times last night, 17 times against these Astros Tuesday, but so far today 7 strikeouts, all by the starter Mike Fiers. AJ knocks it the other way. Springer backs up, and that's career base hit number 500 for AJ Pollock.
I'm not sure if AJ is not concerned with memorabilia, but that ball's still in play. Martez has it out there on the mound right now.
No one yelling anything from the Diamondback dugout. So 2 on, no outs to start the 8th. Here's Jake Lamb, who homered his last time up.
Well, and I really like to see those opposite field base hits for AJ. That's a sure sign to me that he's staying back and letting the ball get deep into the hitting zone and putting a good quick swing on it, driving it to the opposite field. Eventually those pull base hits will come back.
First pitch curveball's a strike. It's 0-1. Jake, 5 hits in this series, 3 doubles and a homer. He's now hit safely in 5 straight games. Oh, and 2. Jake Lamb having a pretty solid second half to the year. 6 homers and 26 RBIs in 29 games since the All-Star break. Takes a fastball close. It's 1-2. So Jake has nearly as many RBIs in the second half of this year as he had in the entire second half last year. Nice scoop there by Max Stassi. Keeps the runners where they are.
Yeah, it seems like for Jake those RBI come in bunches.
Yeah.
You got one with a solo homer in the 6th inning deep to right center field, but you get one right here, you pick up 3 quick ribeye steaks.
Peralta is the runner at second and Pollock at first. Nobody out. Wouldn't check his swing. The throw is to third, and they throw it away. Here comes Peralta. 4-0 Diamondbacks. This has been a less than satisfactory defensive game, with the exception of Chris Herman's catch for both sides. As Lamb strikes out, but Peralta scores.
Yeah, the ball got just a little bit away from Max Stassi. He had David Peralta dead to rights at third base and just airmails it out into left field, allowing David to score. AJ moves up to second.
First base occupied, so the Lamb swing and miss is a strikeout. Stassi picked it up and threw it into left field. AJ's at second. A run is in, and it's 4-0. Here's Goldie, 1 for 3, a single in the second. That's the 5th error in the ball game. 3 by the Diamondbacks and 2 by the Astros. And they're going to give Goldie the no pitch intentional walk and work to JD Martinez. Martinez singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3, the former Astro. 4 hits in this series, including his home run here last night. That one also came in the 8th inning.
Cubs and John Lester intentionally walked Paul Goldschmidt in front of J.D. Martinez in that series at Chase Field. J.D. came up with an RBI double after the intentional walk to Paul Goldschmidt.
And Joe Madden said he will walk Goldie intentionally to get to anybody else every time. Doesn't matter. It didn't work that time, but it's generally a pretty good idea not to pitch to that guy if you don't have to. No matter who's behind him. These two hit back-to-back homers in the game last night. This is chopped to third. Davis steps on the bag, and they get the double play. Diamondbacks get a run. Home half of the 8th coming up. Patrick Corbin back out there with a 4-0 lead. Astros 4-0. Our Gila River game summary. 2 home runs, one by Jake Lamb, and an inside the park job by Daniel Descalso, the first of his career. Patrick Corbin has been tremendous. 7 scoreless innings. He's given up only 3 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 6, and the Astros catcher Max Stassi leads off the Houston 8th.
And for the second time this season, Patrick pitching into the 8th inning of a ball game. He did it also against the Reds that start on short notice when Taijuan Walker had to leave the ball club. Patrick Corbin stepped in, went 7 1/3 against the Reds, gave up only 1 run on 7 hits in that game.
Yeah, that was also on the road at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. And Patrick coming off 6 2/3 scoreless against the Cubs Saturday. Ahead of Stassi 0-2. This is skied to very shallow center. Pollock coming in. And AJ's got it. That's 7 straight retired by Corbin. Well, Tortorella, Bob, when we talked with him this morning, kind of hinted that he almost expected something like this from Patrick. That mound presence, that conviction in his pitches, that attitude seems to be back the last couple of starts.
It certainly looks like it. I mean, every pitch he throws seems to have a purpose, whether it's to set up the next one or to put away a hitter on that particular pitch. You know, there have been times this year where Patrick was just kind of flinging, throwing the ball toward home plate.
That one's in the Houston dugout. He seems to have a lot more faith in that slider, which has been terrific again today. And you mentioned a few starts ago, I think it was at Wrigley Field when he got hit hard by the Cubs, about how Sometimes Patrick will look down at his feet a lot and the body language isn't great, but we haven't seen that at all here today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, every pitcher tends to look down to kind of refocus before that next pitch, but it seemed like Patrick was spending the entire afternoon looking down at his shoes, which, you know, whether it is the case or not, he looked like he had no confidence in himself out there on the mound. That has not been the same Patrick Corbin we've seen the last 2 starts.
He has been dominant. That's really the only word. About to throw his 90th pitch of the ball game to Jake Marisnick. Swing and a miss. There's that Corbin slider. Make it 7 strikeouts for Patrick. 90 pitches and 62 for strikes.
Well, the strikeouts are always impressive, especially when you've got that slider working again today the way Patrick Corbin does. But you look back over this box score for the Astros. There haven't been very many hard hit balls at all. A lot of soft contact on the ground, a lot of lazy fly balls to the outfield. Hitting his spots well today.
George Springer, the leadoff man. Patrick has not thrown a complete game since he had Tommy John surgery. Threw 3 complete games in 2013 when he was a National League All-Star. He has never thrown a shutout in the major leagues. Springer has single, walked, and reached on an error today. This is in with that fastball. Patrick's high pitch count for the year, 113. That was 6 innings against the Braves at Chase Field. His 8th win of the year. So he's got some bullets left if Torrey wants to send him back out there and try for that shutout. Springer drives this one toward the right field corner, and it's out of play. There is some stirring in the D-backs bullpen. 95 pitches for Corbin. They're ready to bring in the beard if need be. Archie Bradley. Patrick has been over 100 pitches in 4 of his last 5 starts. In with a fastball again, but missed it. It's full 3-2.
And that's another thing that's returned for Patrick Corbin, the confidence to pound that fastball inside to right-handed hitters. That was such a valuable weapon for him when things were going well.
Bounce to shortstop, Ketel Marte. Patrick Corbin in Houston. 8 scoreless innings. He holds a 4-0 lead. Thing, Daniel Descalso with 2 outs, so he gets the lucky bounce in center. It rolls away from Jake Marisnick, and Descalso rolls all the way home with an inside the park home run, the first of his career and the 3rd for the Diamondbacks this season. It's our State Farm winning combo, the 8th inside the park home run here at Minute Maid Park.
One thing you noticed about Daniel Descalso on that inside the park home run, he wasn't looking back over his shoulder to see what was going on out in center field. He just trusted his third base coach, Tony Perez-Chica, got the wave, turned the corner, and ended up scoring standing up.
New pitcher for the Astros as we start the 9th inning, the right-hander James Hoyt. We saw him start the 9th inning last night. He gave up a home run to Chris Iannetta, a single to Ketel Marte, and he was out of the ball game. Descalso with the inside the Parker, 1 for 3. So Daniel has hit safely in every game this series. Rockies are in action right now, hosting Atlanta in Colorado, tied at 2. I wonder if this is the negotiation here for the shutout, or if he's telling him he's done. Oftentimes in these situations, Torrey will tell the pitcher, all right, I got faith in you. I'm going to send you back out there, but 1 base runner and you're coming out. And we'll see what happens in the bottom of the 9th inning. There's no one warming up in the Diamondback bullpen right now. Archie Bradley, it appeared, was ready in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, if Patrick is able to complete this game, it would be the first complete game by an opponent against the Houston Astros this year.
Wow. 1-2. Well, Hoyt comes in and strikes out Descalso with a slider, 1 down in the 9th. And again, Patrick has not had a complete game since that All-Star season of 2013. He has never thrown a major league shutout. Good day for Ketel Marte. He has walked, tripled, singled, and scored a run. Ketel has 7 hits in this 4-game series. Ender Inciarte in Colorado has hit his 2nd home run today. And the Braves have taken a 3-2 lead over the Rockies. That one's in the 5th inning at Colorado. So that's some potential good news, although I imagine somebody will probably score another run.
You think?
Diamondbacks 1 game behind the Rockies for that first National League wild card spot, and the right to host that game. Milwaukee only 4 games behind the Diamondbacks. Brewers are off. St. Louis is 5 back. Milwaukee starts a West Coast road trip tomorrow at Colorado. They'll be there at Coors Field to play the Rockies. Then they play 3 against the Giants and 3 against the Dodgers. So a tough 9-game West Coast trip for the Brewers coming up.
Yeah, we're told Freddie Freeman followed the Inciarte home run with a solo blast of his own. Braves lead at 4-2.
Marte out to center field for Marisnick. So it's 4-2 Atlanta. That's good news. St. Louis only 5 games behind. Plays at PNC Park in Pittsburgh tonight. Adam Wainwright against Jameson Tyler. Patrick Corbin, 8 scoreless innings so far, 2 outs, and it's the first at bat today for Gregor Blanco. Blanco checked in left field as a defensive replacement for Chris Herman. even though Herman made a tremendous catch in that corner in left center field. Up against the wall with 2 runners on base. One of the best defensive plays of this series. 239, 3 homers for Blanco, 1 for 10 in the series with 5 strikeouts. Houston in the home half will have the heart of the order due up. Bregman, Altuve, and Gurriel, 2, 3, and 4. Diamondbacks have out hit the Astros 10-3. They lead it 4-0. Two and two. Full count, 3-2. The catcher Jeff Mathis on deck.
It's not uncommon in a close game late for corner infielders to guard the line, but the Astros have their left fielder guarding the line right now. Look at that.
That is bizarre. Center field, Marisnik. We head to the home half of the 9th inning. Patrick Corbin, 8 scoreless so far. It's 4-0 Diamondbacks. And 3 outs away from his first career shutout, but he'll have to earn it. He'll face Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and Yuli Gurriel, 2, 3, and 4 in the Houston 9th inning. Patrick back out there after 8 scoreless and 97 pitches. He has 3 career complete games, all of them coming during his All-Star season of 2013. And he's 3 outs away from his first ever shutout. Bregman 0 for 3. Tap to third, Jake Lamb. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th. 10 straight retired by Corbin.
Patrick looking to join Robbie Ray and Zach Greinke as the only 3 pitchers for the Diamondbacks to record a complete game this season. Zach's was in a losing effort.
Torey Lovullo has his horses ready in the bullpen. Archie Bradley has been warming up for a while. Fernando Rodney has joined him down there with bullpen coach Mike Fetters. Altuve 0 for 3. He has struck out twice against Corbin today. Patrick's high pitch count for the year is 113. That was July 26th at Chase Field against Atlanta. His last 2 starts, 108 pitches against the Giants and 102 against the Cubs. Here's number 100. And it's in there for a strike, 1-1. 100 pitches for Corbin, 68 strikes. He has walked 1. He's got 7 strikeouts. He's retired the last 10 he's faced. Fastball up and in under the whiskers, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Last Houston base runner was the walk to Springer in the 6th inning. Third base for Lamb. 2 outs. Yulieski Gurriel, last man standing. Corbin looks for his first career shutout. And the Diamondbacks look for a split of this 4-game home and home with the best team in the American League. Tried the backdoor slider but missed. It's 1-0. Gurriel 0 for 3. Astros have only 3 hits, all singles. That's going to get out of play, and it's 1-1. Patrick bidding for his 4th career complete game. His first since 2013, prior to having Tommy John surgery. 1-1 on Yuli Gurriel. That is belted into left field. Blanco plays it off the wall. Gurriel is in there with a double. His 33rd double of the year. That's his 6th hit in the series. And here comes Torey Lovullo. He's got Bradley and Rodney in the bullpen. And that'll be it for Patrick Corbin, who came 1 base hit away from his first career shutout. But more importantly, he was absolutely brilliant here today.
Back-to-back starts for Patrick when he has been just outstanding. Right when the Diamondbacks needed somebody to step up and put some zeros on the board, Patrick has been the man.
Patrick Corbin dominates in Houston. 1 out away. It's 4-0 D-backs. from his first career shutout by Torey Lovullo. And they have brought in the beard. There are the Diamondback fans. They were ready for Archie Bradley on to get the final out. He'll face Marwin Gonzalez. It's the Ash line call to the bullpen. Yuli Gurriel, a 2-out double. He's at second. And Gonzalez, the hitter, he's 0 for 3. Torey Lovullo not taking any chances. He wants the W here. And a 4-game split against the American League's best team. Rockies are home right now in the 5th inning. They trail Atlanta 4-2. Ender Inciarte has homered twice for the Braves in that game. First at bat from the left side today for the switch hitting Gonzalez. That's his far better side. 16 homers as a left-hand batter. He's hitting .335 left-handed. 2-1. Boy, Patrick Corbin. Scoreless baseball in his last 2 starts. He is responsible for Gurriel at second. Fastball's a strike, and it's 2-2. Todd Walsh standing by. Diamondbacks live postgame show. He immediately follows our ball game here on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks after this one on an airplane to Minnesota. The 3-game set at Target Field against the Twins starts tomorrow. Zach Godley against Irvin Santana. Zach Greinke will pitch on Saturday. I don't know yet who's going to start Sunday against the Twins' Bartolo Colon. 2-2 on Marwin Gonzalez. Ouch. Haven't seen a whole lot of offense in this one. That certainly has not been the case at Wrigley Field today, where they're in the 7th inning and the Reds lead the Cubs 11-9.
And the wind is still blowing out at Wrigley.
Each team has 11 hits in that ball game. How are we looking? Twins are playing 2 at home today against Cleveland. They were rained out last night. Indians lead the first game at Minnesota 9-3. They're in the 9th inning. We'll play another one later tonight. Archie Bradley a strike away from a 4-game split. Lays off the knuckle curve. 3-2. Beltran on deck. You'd really rather obviously get Gonzalez here, because Beltran, as we saw last night, still has tremendous power. And this thing could get awfully interesting in a hurry if you can't get Gonzalez right here. Three 2 from Archie Bradley. Called strike 3, and that's the ball game. The Diamondbacks, behind a brilliant performance by Patrick Corbin, blank the Astros 4-zip.
Gonzalez still arguing that last called strike. Close enough. We had enough of them go against us in this series. It's about time we got one go for us.
Well, Patrick Corbin is the story here, and it's a Patrick Corbin comeback that has stretched over a couple of starts now. 6 2/3 scoreless in a win against the Cubs on Saturday. He went 8 2/3 scoreless here today, and the D-backs shut out the American League's best team, the Houston Astros, 4-0, and they salvage A 4-game split of this home and home. Up next, it's D-backs Live, presented by CenturyLink. Diamondbacks winners here today. They blanked the Astros 4-0.